So I'm creating a OneNote here. Okay, so whatever we are doing in the sessions will be written there, so you will be able to get all the notes from there.
Okay.
So for today, just let's keep it at the basic level. Okay.
Okay.
Just a minute. Okay, so let's talk about the installation part. And for installing Linux, we can go with two options. Either we install it in command line interface, or we install it in graphical user interface. It's totally up to you whether in which interface you want to install. So I will be installing it in GUI. Okay. So before installing, there comes a technology that is called virtualization. What do you know about that? What is virtualization?
It enables you to install multiple operation, multiple operating system.
Right. To
So you're not installing directly on the disk.
Can you repeat again?
So it enables one to install multiple operating systems. So you're not installing on the disk directly.
Right. And what is the need of virtualization? One is that we want to install multiple operating systems. But
to be able to manage space, I think to be able to manage your resources.
Right. Or we can say to fully utilize the resources. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be doing the virtualization using a software, using a tool that is called hypervisor. So hypervisor is needed, or we can say is used to do the virtualization. Two types of hypervisors are there.
So this hypervision will be installed on the disk, on the system disk.
Correct. And using that hypervisor, we will be doing the virtualization. And one more definition of virtualization is there. We are creating virtual hardwares. On those hardwares, we will be installing the operating systems. Okay. Hardwares, we will be installing the operating systems, and those machines will be called known as virtual machines. Okay.
Okay. So from this, so virtual is basically for virtual to be for one to be able to use virtual. The first thing is to install the virtual tool, like this, what they call this hypervision.
Right.
So there are different types of this tool. There are different types, right?
Right.
It's not just this. Okay. So
Okay.
it depends on choice.
Right. Mainly it depends on the situation where you are doing the virtualization. Okay. So this type 1 and type 2, they are also known with other names. Like type 1 is also called hypervisor OS, and this type 2 is called hypervisor tool. So what is the difference between these two? Let's discuss that part. Let's say this one is our hardware. And there is, let's say, 32 GB of RAM and 500 gig of storage. So this will be called a bare metal. Either you can say a piece of hardware, or you can say bare metal, which is comprising of the storage, RAM, CPU, processors, and all everything which is needed to run a system. Okay. On this hypervisor, just a minute. Okay. So on this bare metal, what we will be doing, we are going to install hypervisor OS. So instead of a normal operating system like Windows, Linux, we will be installing a tool that is called hypervisor OS, which is a mini operating system on its own.
Okay. So this this hypervisor OS is what you said will be installed on the physical hard disk of the system.
Right. And via using this particular hypervisor OS, what we can do, now we can create multiple virtual machines. Let's say I created 2 virtual machines. In one machine, I've installed Red Hat and 8. On the second machine, I've installed CentOS version 8. So now I can run 2 operating systems, or if I want to run more, if I want to create more virtual machines, I can also do that. Let's see, I also installed Windows and Ubuntu. So if I want to create all the virtual machines of size of RAM 8 GB, so I can only create 4 virtual machines here, not more than that. Why is that?
Because of the size of the RAM.
Right, because the RAM which we have been consumed by only creating these 4 virtual machines. So this is the first way, which is hypervisor OS, or we can say the type 1 hypervisor. So in this, we can fully utilize the operating system. We can fully utilize the resources here, which are available to us. Okay.
This let's assume I have a new laptop, a new one. And there is no OS installed on a new laptop.
Right.
So how do I go about installing hypervisor OS?
Yeah, just like we install normal operating system, we will be installing this one too, the hypervisor OS. Let me name them too. Like VMware have created their own hypervisor OS, VMware ESXi, which is known as. Another one is Zen hypervisor. Okay, so just like installing a normal operating system, we will be using this hypervisor OS, and mainly this first one, type 1 hypervisor OS, this will be used in industries, used at industry level.
Okay, this.
Second one, which is the hypervisor tool, this will be used at personal level. Also, it can be also be used in industry level, but mainly it is focused for personal use. So let me just. So another set of hardware is there with the same size. So this is the example of the second one, that is the type 2. In this, what will happen? Just a minute. This operating system will be there.
Base.
Right, it could be anything, like it could be Windows, it could be Linux, anything. So let's say I've installed Windows 10 in my operating system. So according to you, just for example, how much RAM Windows 10 need to operate?
Maybe Windows can take 15 gig RAM.
Least
Sorry, 125.
No, the minimum I'm asking, minimum RAM, what is the size
minimum
of
RAM? Oh, minimum RAM for Windows. I have no idea. I will check that.
Let's just say for example, at least it will need around 4 GB, 4 gig of RAM. Like if I show you in my system right now, go to task manager. So right now, out of 16 GB, 6 GB is being used. Okay, and I'm using multiple softwares too. So let's just say 4 GB is being used by the Windows operating system, and the remaining 2 is used by the extra softwares, extra applications. Okay. So out of 32 GB, 4 GB has been used here.
Yes.
Now, how much is remaining? 28 GB.
28 GB.
Then here we will be installing the hypervisor tool, or we can say the hypervisor software. And
so
using that type.
Sorry to interrupt you. Like on a new laptop, so the first thing should be the base OS, which is Windows.
Right.
But what if it's like Linux? The base OS is Linux.
Yeah, you can also install Linux too. On Linux, you can also install the hypervisor tool.
Okay.
So if I wanted to again create virtual machines of 8 GB, how many virtual machines will I be able to create?
Sorry, let me check.
So this time we will only be able to create 3 virtual machines. Let's say in the first one I have installed Red Hat. In the second one I have installed Windows. In the last one I have installed Ubuntu. So 8 gig here, another 8, and another 8.
Okay.
8 plus 8 plus 8, 24, plus 4, 28.
28.
So only 4 GB is remaining. So that's why I will not be able to create another virtual machine of 8 GB. So compared to this one, the hypervisor OS, hypervisor tool lets us create less virtual machines. We are not able to fully utilize the resource here, but a plus point is there that we can work on all the virtual machines at the same time. Okay, and for this one, VMware Workstation Pro is there. Another one is there that is called Oracle VirtualBox. VMware ESXi and hypervisor Xmox is there.
So these are just different types of
Right, multiple companies are there. Just they just created their own hypervisor and provided it.
Okay.
Okay. So we will be which operating system you have? Windows 10 you have, right?
I have Windows 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can install this one, VMware Workstation Pro. So I'll share you the link for that. Just a minute. So you need to download this one, Workstation 16 Pro for Windows. Okay.
Okay.
Sending you this link.
Okay.
Okay.
My problem is I've not been able to. Sometimes, like in the industry, they have big servers like like Huawei. They have like some cloud server of bigger size. So
Right.
they see them installed on different blade. On different blade, they have VMware also installed on each of those blade servers and install different applications on them. So I've seen this in the industry, but I've really not grasped the full understanding until now.
Right.
So I understand what they are doing.
Mainly they can say this is the basic because if you want to go
Yes.
with this, you need to know about this. Okay. So after once you downloaded this one, the VMware Workstation Pro, then just install it. And one more thing you need to download, that is the RHEL 8 ISO. Do you have RHEL 8 ISO with downloaded with you?
No.
Okay. So for that, right now I think RHEL 8.4 it is. So you need to create an account on developers.redhat.com.
Okay.
After creating the account, you will be able to download RHEL from here. So you have to download the one which is of size. I think it's 9 GB right now. Just let me show you. Yeah, this one, the first one.
Okay.
Okay. So when you just click on that download button, it will ask you for either login. If you don't have an account, register for a Red Hat account.
Okay.
So I'll share you this link too. Control C. So after downloading both of these, then once you install the workstation, VMware Workstation, you will get a screen like this. There, create a new virtual machine will be there, open a virtual machine, connect to a remote server. So what you need to do, create a new virtual machine. In this, select the first one, typical. Next, select the last option. I will install the operating system later. Next, in this, select Linux and just press R in the search bar. Red Hat, it will be there at the top. Select that. Next, give whatever name you want to give to the machine. Let me name it managed host 2. Select the location at which you want to install it. And then okay. Next, leave it as it is, 20 gig. Then next, in the last option, you have to customize hardware. So click on that. You can select the RAM, how much you want to provide to the virtual machine. Okay, so how much in RAM is it in your system?
256. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much? Okay.
Oh, this is a RAM is a. Let's see. $64 system.
You can directly go with the go in this PC and check the properties.
For 4 GB for Windows.
4 GB.
Yes. Install memory RAM. 4 GB.
Okay. So you can select 1 GB here. Okay, so that your system will work smoothly, but not less than that.
Okay.
Then back to the options here. In the processors, leave it as it is. Don't change anything. In the third option, that is new CD DVD. Right now it is selected to auto detect. So you have to select this one. Use
ISO
image and browse your ISO image wherever you have downloaded it. So let me select that one. So I have sent to RHEL 8.3. So when you download, I think it will be RHEL 8.4. I just okay. After that, in the network adapter option, select bridged. Okay.
bridge.
Yes. So it will share the connection of your Windows machine to the Linux machine. So you will be able to directly use internet on the virtual machine too.
Okay.
In the USB controller, select show all USB input device, and in the compatibility, select 3.1.
So I have a question on this network adapter. So the function of this network adapter is to be able to give access to external network. This network adapter, you gave it You gave it, I mean, did you assign memory to it?
No, if we select
what is
it
the,
as
what is the,
bridged,
what is the,
so what?
what is the, okay. You select bridge, okay.
Okay, so what will happen? It will take your internet access of a Windows machine and use that internet to go outside of your network to connect
So
to
this is
the
this is the
internet
main
on any.
function. This is the function of network adapter. This is what it does to create
Right.
to give access. Okay.
Okay. So first select bridge, and we will be checking that later whether it is working or not. If it is not working, then we will be selecting the second option, that is NAT, network address translation. So what NAT does, just it converts your private IP to public IP. Okay. So mostly in most of the cases, bridged connection works, but in some cases it doesn't work. Then we will need to select the second one, that is NAT.
Nice.
So after making these changes, just click on close and then click on finish. So at this point, your virtual hardware has been created. The operating system hasn't been installed, but the hardware has been created. Just a minute, Solomon. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now after doing this step, just click on power on this virtual machine and your installation will start. So at this point, just click in the middle of the screen and using the arrow keys, select the first one. That is install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8.3 and then press enter. So if you select the second one or let it select by default, then it will take a little bit more time. So after this, we will be selecting the time zone at what partitions we want to create, what should be the name of our machine, and which interface I want to install, whether I want to install it in GUI or CLI. This might take a few minutes. So this whole installation process takes around 20 to 25 minutes. So mainly you just have to select the options at first. After that, it will do the work on its own.
Okay.
So here you can select the language, then continue. Then you can select your time zone where you want to. So I'm selecting Asia, Kolkata, and 11:30. Date 38. Okay, and then done. Then in the system tab, go to the installation destination, and for now just click on done. We are not creating the partitions on it. We will be just leaving it as it is. So the system will create the partitions automatically. Okay, so just open this installation destination and click on done. That's it. Then next option is software selection under the software part. By default, it is server with GUI. So if you want to install it in graphical user interface, leave it as it is. But if you want to install it in CLI mode, then you need to select the last one. That is virtualization host. Okay, so I'm selecting the virtualization host here, then done. In the network and host name part, you can change the host name of your machine. Let me write managed host and then host name has been changed and then done. After that, in user settings, it is asking us for root password. So in Windows, we have administrator. The admin user of Windows is administrator. The admin user in Linux is root because it has all the access. So you need to set the password for that. So just give anything. Even if you give a single word password, you just have to press twice, done twice. So it will take that password, then create a user here. So I'm creating Lucky, the password, and then done. So all the steps have been completed. Now you just have to click on begin installation and the installation will start. So any doubts in any of these steps?
No. It's okay.
Okay. Let's click on begin installation. So I've selected the virtualization host. So I think it will install around 700 to 800 packages. If you select the graphical user interface, the server with GUI, then it will install packages between 1300 and 1400. So GUI will take a little bit extra time for installation and compared to CLI. So it's totally up to you in which mode you want to install. And let me show you both of the modes, the CLI one and the GUI one. So this machine is in CLI, command line interface. So in this machine, you will not be able to use the mouse. All the works you have to do with the commands. You will not be able to copy paste the content using the mouse. Okay, whatever you want to do, you have to do it using the commands. So this one is in CLI mode. And as for the GUI, let's wait for it to start. So tomorrow we will be starting that file system hierarchy and the basic commands.
Okay.
And we will not be going that much deep into the basic command section because you already worked with that, and as we go on with the course, those commands will be used throughout all the course.
Okay.
Just a minute. Start a page. Okay. So these are the topics that we will be covering throughout our course. Okay. So day by day,
So
let me know.
all of this. Okay, all of this will cover for this Linux. What are the topics going to cover in this Linux?
Yeah, these
Yeah.
are the topics that we will be covering in the Linux. So day by day, whenever you are whenever you complete a particular topic or do the practice on that. So in the next session, let me know. So if there is any doubt in that particular session, so first we will discuss that doubt, and then we will move on to the next part.
Okay.
Okay. So this machine has been started, and this is the machine in the GUI mode, graphical user interface. So here, for accessing the command line, for running the commands, you will be going to the activities section, then terminal, and then you can run the commands here. So in GUI, it is a little bit easier to copy paste the content, or you can do some task graphically, not all the tasks, but some of the tasks you can do it done graphically.
Yeah, I think in most industries, you don't even get in the industry, they don't have access. They don't install the GUI, just
No.
command line.
Yeah, because in the industry, at the industry level, you will mostly you will be accessing the machine via SSH.
Yes, SSH. Yeah.
So for that, you can use multiple tools like Putty is there, MobaXterm is there,
Yeah,
Eggshell
exactly.
is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So according to me, it is best that you install it in this one, the CLI mode, because as you have 4 GB RAM, so it will be easier for your system. The load will be
I,
not
no,
that much.
I intend to buy an a new laptop, the SSD. So I intend to buy a new one probably today and install
Okay,
this
then
stuff.
there is no issue. Then you can either install it in CLI or GUI. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so once the installation has been completed, you just need to click on reboot system and the system will start. It will ask you for that license agreement. So you need to accept that one.
I hope it's okay. Of course, it's free.
Okay. And the last is, yeah, once you have accepted that particular license agreement, then this screen will come where your username will be there, whatever user you have created.
Yeah.
So if you want to log in with that user, you can do that. And if you want to log in with the root user, for that, you need to click on not listed, type the username root, next, give the password of root user and then sign in. If you want to log in with root user, otherwise you can log in with the local user which you have created at the installation.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, then it might take some time for this to install. So try installing this today. So tomorrow we will start with the file system hierarchy, file system management, and then the basic commands.
Yeah.
File management.
So my system RAM depends on what I'm going to allocate to each VM. I said my system RAM depends on what number of RAM I can install. I mean, sorry, my system RAM size depends on what VMware I'm going to install.
No. Your VMware Workstation, you need to install this one 16, the latest version. After that, which type of what we say, this Red Hat Linux, in which mode you install, that depends on your RAM, in which interface you install.
Yeah. So yeah, yes, that's what I meant.
That depends on your RAM, because if you install it in GUI in 4 GB RAM, it will work, no issues, but your system might get a little bit slow. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna close this one. Okay, you can access the OneNote from the content section. Okay, when you go to the content section, here just click on one more, and that notebook will be there.
Okay.
So you can get all the notes from there if you want to check what we have discussed in the previous sessions.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, it has been saved. So by default, it is showing us the topics page. If you want to switch the page to any other one, for that, you just have to click on this one, just above the search option, and then all the pages will be shown. You can then switch to installation and so on from next one. Okay. Okay, then see you tomorrow at 10:30.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, welcome. Bye.
Yeah.